Allied agenda. That's what the National Endowment for the Arts is all about. They call it art. It's not art, it's perversion.
Right.
And they fund those things. Special interest groups. Doesn't sound too much like protection of the good, does it? Sounds like corruption, don't it?
Yeah.
That's what the tax dollars go to.
Yeah.
Not all of them, of course, but a good majority of them do. Now, let's look back at Matthew chapter 17. We need to understand some things. Matthew chapter 17. Most people don't realize that the 16th Amendment, which was the amendment that was supposedly ratified and passed, that okayed the withholding of income from your pay. And at first it wasn't taken straight out of your check anyway, you paid it in. That was supposedly passed, but if you go back and study that, it really wasn't passed. They kind of slipped that one in through, which is what they do with a lot of things. And there again, man-made laws contradicting God-ordained law.
Right.
Matthew 17. You see, the command back there in Romans 13, I'm going to read it here. It says, render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. If it's not due, then you don't pay. You don't give it. If there's no honor due to someone, you don't give the honor. So the command is to render to only those to whom it is due. In other words, those who will use the tribute only for the sole and express purposes already outlined. We'll go over that again here in just a minute. All right, now our founding fathers went to war over 10%. You start adding up all the taxation today, not just income tax, all the sales tax, the gas tax, property tax, electricity tax, telephone tax. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist. I started figuring out, well, it's just the gasoline tax. Somebody at the top is putting a whole lot of money in their pockets. I mean, there's just no two ways about it. There's so much fraud in the system.
Yep.
But anyway, our founding fathers went to war over 10% tax. The Boston Tea Party, that's what that was all about. Okay, Matthew chapter 17, verse 24, the Bible says here, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter. That's tax money. They came to Peter and said, doth not your master pay tribute? This is an honest question. Don't he pay taxes? Now, Peter was always quick to open his mouth and stick his foot in it. And it's exactly what he did here. Because he says in verse 25, he said, yes. Just blurted it out, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Jesus prevented him. He said, wait a minute, Peter, come back here. Saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter saith unto him, of strangers. Jesus saith unto him, then are the children free. You see, that's the children of the kingdom aren't to pay. It's the strangers that are put the tribute money. They're called tributaries. Anyway, now notice what happens here. Verse 27, notwithstanding, since you already opened your mouth and stuck your foot in it, Peter, since you already said yes, tell you what I want you to do. I put it up-to-date vernacular. Lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea. Well, what do you mean go to the sea? And cast a hook, and take up the fish that first come. Why do I need to do that? Doesn't Judas have the bag with all the money in it? Remember Judas Iscariot, the one that betrayed the Lord? He was a treasurer. Sometimes they're treasurers. He was a treasurer. He's the one that held the bag. He had the money. Why? If it was okay for him to pay this tax, why didn't Jesus say, Peter, go talk to the treasurer, go talk to Brother Judas. Brother Judas, go talk to Judas and get the money that they need for this tribute and pay the man. He didn't say that. Instead he said, go to the sea. Go to the sea, cast an hook, take up the fish that first cometh up. And when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. That take and give unto them for me and thee. All right, lest we should offend. Because he opened his mouth, all right, he said he was going to do it. And that shows this too. And this is what the tax system is today. Once you bind yourself and open your mouth and volunteer. I'll read that here in just a second. Once you volunteer, it's the same way with church or corporation. The church was protected underneath the First Amendment of the Constitution.
Right.
Congress shall make no law, hands off. Hands off of the church. But yet, the church volunteered because they wanted benefits from the government, tax exemption, tax deductions, carrot dangling out in front of the horse. And so they volunteered to incorporate themselves, and they became a separate entity. They became a legal entity in the eyes of the state and the government. That is exactly what the American people have done, unknowingly, ignorantly, just like the church did. They have volunteered to become this strong corporate person and a citizen of another nation. I'll prove it to you right here. That now this comes with a price. And that's what the tax system is. Now, there's 1991, Brother Martin gave me these. 1991, 1040, 1992, 1040, 1993, and then I got the most recent one I have is 2003. Now I want you to see the progression here. Note from the commissioner, dear taxpayer, says a few things. He said, it is a reminder that the government in a free country can only be financed through voluntary compliance. Something that is voluntary.